I'm Kathiely Rivera Torres, and I work at the Beale Botanical Garden as graduate assistant. When I think of Beale Garden, I think about how the garden is displayed, like the how the plants are individually placed in the beds with their labels, and how nature surrounds all of the collections. It's a very peculiar shape. And then having the pond, that connection to the water and the river at the side is really comforting. So the first time I found out about Beale's Botanical Garden was through a classmate. I really wanted to connect to Michigan native plants because I had moved from Puerto Rico, and I thought that the best way to connect to Michigan was through its nature. And so I decided to come to Beale Botanical Garden, and not only did I see Michigan native plants, but plants from around the world, and that really brought me into the garden. So I first entered to the main gates near the library, and I started to see the pattern how the garden was organized, and I immediately went to the Michigan endangered plants because that was the main focus. I wanted to learn more about Michigan plants. And then I started drifting towards the medicinal area. There's where I started to find more relevance to plants that I'm more familiar with. I do have a connection to a plant here at the Botanical Garden. It's the camphor tree, Cinnamomum camphora. That plant reminds me of my time in Puerto Rico as a child when my grandfather, whenever I bruised myself and I had an ache or something like a bellyache, he would make alcolado, and it's a rub that is made of camphor, eucalyptus, alcohol, and other ingredients. And it had a distinctive, a very peculiar smell. But every time I see the plant, I remember that smell. I remember that time when I found comfort at home from plants. And having that here at the Botanical Garden makes me feel at home. It was a drastic change moving from Puerto Rico to Michigan. It's totally different. I never been up north. What I wanted to do was connect to the environment first, nature, because it was the place where I was going to live for many years. My program here at MSU was 2 years. I recently graduated. So after all of this, I realized that connecting to the plants, to the trees, um, not necessarily the ones that I'm most familiar with, but exploring new things really helped me get uh, accustomed to the environment. I never thought that I would work at Bio Botanical Garden. I thought it was just a place that I could find refuge, where I could feel calm at home within the plants. But the opportunity arose last year, summer of 2022, through an internship where I worked what I do best, art activities, working with children for the music and the garden events. I really liked working here at the Botanical Garden because I had never worked at a botanical garden before. I majored in arts, culture management, and museum studies, and studying a botanical garden as a cultural place really interested me. So as I started working at the botanical garden, not only as a place of refuge, but a place where people can find connections with plants and place, it's really amazing.